up, up, up. This is the mood I'm in, you guys. Wait. I might twerk for a minute. Hey, Cassie's here. Annie, the little gypsy. Crystal says, we is live? Yes, boo. What? That was so cute. Okay, we have Cynthia. Ooh, I have my phone. Jerica, Poetic, Shannon, Portia, Emily, Andrea, Lisa. Okay, Honey is here. Rachel, Jerica, Carol, Sandria. Oh, they switched it up. Who's my DJ? I'm about to go live on Instagram, but that doesn't mean that you guys move from YouTube to Instagram world. We're going to stay here on YouTube, guys. Okay? All right. Oh. I'm giving everyone a chance to tune in. Hold on. I'm going to go live on Instagram, but I'm telling you guys, don't dip off. Because the priority is here. I believe we have Mel and Eric in here today for moderating. So if you see them blocking the bullshit, it's because there's bullshit. Instagram, if you see me with my notes here, because my notes are here. Also, Instagram sees them sitting in a dog bed. I don't like this song. Like an earthquake. Hold on. Wait. This is how we're starting all Astro Live chat moving forward. Do the shooty fingers. That's what I call these. The shooty fingers. You're shooting away the bullshit. Wait. Hopefully you guys are ready because we have so much to talk about with this Astro Live chat. It's kind of ridiculous. Which is interesting because this week, okay, I'm going to turn the music down a little bit. It's interesting because this week is relatively kind of chill and mellow. Wait, what is he saying? We'll start soon, you guys. I just gotta get this out of my system. Like an earthquake. I want to go to the club. Should we go to the club tonight? We might have to go to the club tonight. And they weren't ready for that. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's pause this or else we're not going to be able to get anything done. Okay, so this week, you guys, there is so much that we need to talk about. I'm not even kidding. But the reason why is that next week, Mercury is going to go retrograde starting on Monday. So I don't know about you. I'm a little excited about Mercury going retrograde, and we'll talk about it in detail moving forward. But for right now, this week is actually pretty quiet, and that's usually how it is after we go through a full moon. The energy typically after a full moon is everything kind of is like settling. The dust is kind of settling. There's a lot of things that need to kind of like sort themselves out. And that's kind of the vibe that we're going to be dealing with this week. I do have the chart pulled up on my iPad here. So hold on. Let me figure this out real quickly. Boop, got it. Okay, so I do have the chart pulled up on my iPad. For those of you guys that are wondering, Jess, what program do you use in order to pull charts? I use ASTRO.com. And the reason why I do that is because, I don't know, it's literally the best. If you ask me, I don't use apps. Everyone will be like, oh, what do you think about this app? I think it's bullshit. I don't even need to like look at it to tell you. I just, you know me, I'm a Virgo, I'm a perfectionist. And with astro.com, you can do all of the charts. You can pull all of the charts. Every chart that you could possibly need or that I would possibly need, I could find myself possibly needing. It can be found on astro.com. They do not sponsor my videos. I've actually reached out to them. They're not from America. And when I reached out to them, there was like a language barrier. I think they're from, it's not Russia. It's something close in that general, it's like Eastern European. But they're really, really nice, but they didn't get my question. This was like 2 years ago. So I just get that question a lot as far as how do I pull my charts? And this is the way to do it. If you're wondering, why am I wearing a kimono? Well, because I wanted to. And number two, why am I wearing beads? Well, because I just moved from New Orleans not too long ago, and New Orleans is currently celebrating Mardi Gras. Don't feel bad for me that I'm not there. I actually feel really good that I'm here and not there, but I still wanted to celebrate. And the other question that I get that I want to talk to you guys about before we even dive into the details of this week is taking notes. Yes, by all means, take notes. If you don't want to take notes, or if you have to fly out because you have to go grocery shopping, the baby starts crying, the dog needs to be walked, you're at work or whatever it is, this video will be saved and it will be up on my YouTube channel. Make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. OMG. At this point, I feel like you should. If you're not, then you should. If you're new to my tribe, if you're new to my family, then fine. I'll give you a pass. I'll let it slide for now. But everyone else, definitely go ahead and migrate over to the YouTube channel. That's definitely towards you guys on Instagram. So my YouTube over here, because I'm live on this screen, we're on YouTube. For those of you guys that are here right now, like my 100% undivided attention for the most point. Wentworth Pond says, I just took a poop and I have no toilet paper. Well, that fucking sucks. Don't you hate when that happens? Go ahead and block that though, because that's some bullshit. You guys. Eric says, and hit that like button. And that's true. Thank you, Eric, for reminding me to say that. If you benefit from these live chats, I am doing them free 99. That's right. I take time out of my special, busy, crazy day to come on here to talk about astrology for your week, and I give it to you good. Don't I give it to you good? I give it to you guys so good. So make sure that if you are appreciating this, if you love this energy, if you love this time together, that you are hitting the thumbs up button, and that if you want, text your friends. Go ahead and video, screen chat, whatever it is, me, when you screen record it, and then tag it on your Instagram and tag your friends there and just be like, yo, this is where we're at right now. This is where the vibes are high and strong. Blessed Energy gets it with all the notifications saying 100, 100, fire, fire, hearts, hearts, kisses, kisses, lions, lions. So I get it. But all of that really does make a difference for me. There's 605 people here in the YouTube chat room, and there's 156 likes. That means that over 500 of you is not giving me those thumbs up. And I am working. She works hard for the money. Like literally, I'm working hard for those thumbs ups at this point. Well, not really, but it's just kind of like a goal. Witchcraft Lover says, yes, I hate it when there's no toilet paper. Yo, we have derailed. We have totally derailed. Okay, and on this side, Instagram, just to let you guys know that my priority, my main focus is here on the YouTube platform. So at some point, sooner rather than later, it's going to be spontaneous. I'm going to cut our chat off. And the last thing you want is to be left out in the cold, without nothing, without no one. So make your way over to the YouTube platform, please, and thank you. Okay. That being said, are we ready to get started? Are we ready to talk? There's so much to talk about. Okay, first things first is Mercury. Mercury retrograde. Why do I want to start off with this? Because, oh wait, time out. Pink Technique says, Jess, where did you move to? I moved to Florida. Sunny, beautiful Florida. For those of you guys that don't know, yeah, I'm no longer in New Orleans. I will be going back. New Orleans will always have a really strong, significant place in my heart. but I don't want to live there. Oh my God, the little gypsy, which blessings to you, my love. She says Dolphin snacks, hashtag or the money, and then queen. I appreciate that so much. Did you guys see? I had a dolphin encounter earlier this week. Are you kidding me? There I was. Let me just start off by saying this, and I swear we'll jump into this week ahead. There I was living my best life. Okay, sitting on this wall, and the reason why I chose this spot in particular is because there was no one there. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm an introvert. Okay, I usually don't like to have people around me. And I was actually taking that time out in order to recharge my batteries so I can come in and give it to you guys good here today and the rest of this week. And there was no one around. There was like legit no one around. And as soon as I sat down, this dolphin came up and was like, "Hey, Jess." And I was like, oh, hey, what is up? And it kind of swam out. And I was like, that was cool. That was a moment. When I tell you guys, this dolphin came up 3 other times, but it was kind of like circulating around, like kind of doing its thing. But I had my feet kind of hanging over, and this dolphin, like legit, would come up and spray the water. Like he would like come up and, what is it called? I don't think it's called breaching, but when they come up and they breathe, and their hole on the top of their head kind of opens up, and then they take a deep breath and they go back down like spontaneously right afterwards. And it's like, I'm looking at it like, what a freaking miracle that you're able to go under the water and close that hole before the water gets in there. Like, it was blowing my freaking mind. And this dolphin did it 3 times. I don't know if you guys know this about the number 3, but it is holy to the next level. Like, it is sacred. It is the trine. Like, in astrology, we call it the trine because it's the door open. So I just felt so completely blessed, but I was only able to capture it 1 time. And the other times it was swimming underneath my feet, kept dodging under my feet. It was insane. It was such a moment. And I walked around and like walk back home, and I'm like, yo, that was fantastic. Bella Wallace says they are such beautiful creatures. Girl, you ain't never lied. And this one was so significantly beautiful to me because it had this like scar on its back, and I'm like, yo, you've been through some things. We have that in common. It was too relatable. It was too relatable. This is, I don't believe that the dolphin is my spirit animal or my spirit guide by all means. I do believe that in that moment, it was my spirit messenger, just kind of reminding me that it was really good to kind of like take a break, to have fun, to sit out in the sun, to be blessed and just receive. So, and I don't know if I've done a video on this on my YouTube channel, but, I don't believe that, when you see animals or when you cross paths with animals, that automatically makes it your spirit guide. It just could be an animal messenger, and that's what I feel. Someone just asked, okay, Tanjar says, were you able to touch it? No, but when I tell you, it was within reach. Like, it was within reach. It was totally within reach. Like, my feet, if I would have dangled a little more, I would have been able to touch it. But who wants to be touched? Can you imagine being a dolphin and being touched by a human being? I would be like, listen, I didn't come this far to bless your feet to be touched by you. Like, there's that healthy space of distance. So I didn't try to touch it. It was just more of like a respect thing. And the only reason why I was even able to catch it that one time on my phone was because like how there's this, like, she just looked like a Deborah or a Peggy. She was so sweet, like so sweet. She had her camera. She was out there chasing. That's a crazy thing too. Last thing I'll say, I swear. But it's so funny because she was actively out there trying to capture film, like trying to get photos. Nikki Val says, not Deborah. Like she looked like such a Deborah. Like all of my Deborahs that I've ever met my entire life have been the sweetest things. Like they have their own interests. They have their own hobbies. They have their own life. They're independent women. They are straight up Queen of Wands doing their own thing. That's just how I've always seen a Deborah or a Peggy. But so she was out there with her camera trying to capture the dolphins. And they were like passing her, like they were not trying to be photographed. And, it was just, she kept coming back to me because she was actively looking for them. And I was just living my life, and the dolphin would just naturally appear. And if that isn't a message right there, you guys, then I don't know what is. Sometimes your blessing and the gift is going to come to you. It should not be you always trying to capture that moment. You want to allow it to be fluid. You want it to allow it to be effortless. You want the flow to be natural. And literally, not only will it hit you once, but it'll come back and hit you twice, and it'll come back and hit you a third time to make sure that you have fully received. That is the message. Okay. Astro Chat Live over. Bye. Okay, for real. Let's go ahead and dive into this, for real, the details of the astrology chart for this week ahead. Let me go ahead and take a sip from my water. Okay. First things first. What do you guys think I'm going to talk about first? I originally said I was going to talk about Mercury retrograde, but I don't feel like I'm going to. I think I'm getting called to talk about something else. First things first, what do you think I'm going to talk about, you guys? What planet? I'm going to let you guys work your third eye. Okay, someone said the full moon. Patricia says the moon. Whoa. These comments are blowing me away right now. Venus. Okay, a lot of Venus. That's crazy. Saturn, Mercury, Jupiter, Mars. Jupiter. Okay, there's a lot of Jupiter that just came up. Someone's talking about poop again. That's wonderful. Uranus, Pluto, Mars, Neptune, Venus. I love that. Tiffany. That's not a planet. Oh, that was your name. Okay, I missed it. Moving forward, Uranus is here. You know what's so funny? You know what I just realized? YouTube is seeing the fact that there is Uranus here, and it's flagging it. Like, oh, they're talking about buttholes. Like, no, we're not. Uranus is the planet. YouTube, chill. Okay, Pluto. Okay. All right, so basically what we're going to be talking about. Okay, so wait, let me check up on my nets. This is why, if you're on Instagram, you guys need to move over to YouTube because they're my priority right now. I'm getting a lot of Uranus, a lot of Saturn, a lot of Pluto on my Instagram on this side. The planet that I'm actually going to be talking about right now that I feel so called to talk to you guys about is not the moon, because I'm seeing 5 of them here, is not Neptune, although that is also important. You got to be tired of, thank you so much, Kelly, for the super chat. She said, you are amazing. You are amazing. And I love that little pear guy. I swear, I'm going to get him tattooed on my arm over here. I feel at this point, you guys would probably be so sick and tired of me talking about Neptune moving through Pisces. So I'm actually not going to be talking about that today. I don't think I will be. I don't see myself doing that. I want to talk to you guys about Venus. I really do. I want to talk to you guys about Venus. Whoever it was that guessed it at the very beginning, Michelle Ricketts is saying, Venus! That's beautiful. Yeah, I want to talk to you guys about Venus. And the reason why is because she's really, truly standing out to me right now as we speak. Venus currently is moving through the sign of Aries. And we talked about this in brief last week. I don't know if you guys remember, but I do, because I was there and I was the one doing all the talking. But when Venus moves into the sign of Aries, it really is like in your face. This is what I want. This is what I'm about. I see what I want over there. I'm going to go ahead and get it. I want it to be right here. And if it's not, I'm going to pursue it. That's the beauty of Venus. And when we look at Venus as a whole, we work with what it is that we are attracted to. Now, one thing that you guys hear me say all the time is that when you know how to work with these planets, you can make them work for you and not against you. That means when you understand the energy, you can figure out, and I don't want to say manipulate, because manipulate is not the right word, but you know how to work with the forces and the elements in order to get what it is that you want, and to understand why certain things aren't happening in the way that it is that you would wish that they would. And it also reminds you to stay open and to stay flexible to everything that can and will happen for you. That was a mouthful, but essentially that's pretty much, if you understand astrology, you can literally make it work for you. If you don't understand astrology, then you're going to find yourself constantly pushing up against these planets. You're going to find yourself constantly beating your head up against a brick wall. Why won't it work out? Why won't this happen? Feminine energy. So if you're a female or if you resonate with feminine energy, you'll find yourself internally being like, I'm doing something wrong. There's something wrong with me. Men, they'll be like, what the fuck? Like, that's why I love men, because they have this natural tendency, or masculine energy, I should say. They have this natural tendency to be like, it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with them. Like, it's so beautiful, like how feminine energy manifests and how masculine energy manifests itself, right? But so either way, it's frustrating nonetheless. when you're working with Venus, it's not just love, it's not just relationships, it's not just beauty or aesthetic, although those are some things that Venus energy will bring. Those are, that's, blah, blah, blah. Those, if you're smart, then you know how to capitalize on that. If people want aggressive, fiery, passionate, in your face, let's talk about it. I'm not afraid. I am determined. I am motivated. It's here, now, present. Let's do this. Bing, bang, boom. Then that's what people will be attracted to you. Something about that, even if it's not their normal tendencies, it catches their eye. Versus, let's say it falls into something a little bit more passive, like Virgo. Or let's say Mars is moving to the sign of Pisces, and you work with that energy in order to pull in order to attract whatever it is that you want to entice. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be relationships. Although I have said this a few times before that I feel like we have relationships with everything. Like I have a relationship with my phone. I have a relationship with my YouTube. I have a relationship with my iPad. I have a relationship with my friends. I have a relationship with my neighbors. I have a relationship with my dog. All of these things are connections. They're connections and they influence each other in some way, shape, or form. And we have a relationship with the planets and their impact here. Now, on the YouTube platform over here on this side, I'm seeing a lot of questions being like, but wait, what if I'm a Cancer? And then I hear, what if I'm a Gemini? Or what if I'm a Taurus? It doesn't matter what your sun or your rising or your moon or your Venus is at this point in time, because this reading is general, and these are general across the board energies that we are all under the influence of. And what I'm not going to do is pull a personal chart. One personal. Shannon says, but like, what if I'm a queen? That's a good question. I love that. But like, what if I'm a queen though? Right. So basically what Eric just texted me and said that there's a notification with like buffering or whatever. If you guys, let me know if the internet connection is good. If you guys are good. Yeah, Charlize says, Goddess here. Give me a thumbs up or a heart emoji if the connection is good. Yeah, Kimberly says it's good now. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with the Wi-Fi. Okay, yeah, no, I'm getting a lot. Okay, someone said it was buffering. It does buffer. Yeah, buffer. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, a lot of skipping. Okay, someone says it's all right. Someone said it glitched once. Okay, some hearts up. Hearts, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Sometimes that also happens. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we have like 868 people in here, 864. So yeah, if we're having some issues, sometimes the energy is a lot. And I have a lot of energy right now too. So there's that. Okay, so I'm just going to continue on. I'm going to carry on. Sorry for the buffering if you're experiencing buffering. Because either way, this chat will be live. And the last thing I want to do is disconnect and stop the chat and then stop our flow. But back to Venus. Okay, so Venus moving through the sign of Aries. The first thing that I'm noticing about this week is the fact that she is in direct alignment in conjunction with Chiron. Now, Chiron is the wounded healer, and it's a point within the chart, or it's an asteroid actually, that works with the point of irritation. Okay, I don't know if you guys have ever done this before. I'm a Virgo, so if I'm ever stressed out, it goes right to my stomach. But if I drink too much coffee, or if I have too much spicy food, or if something's stressing me out, I get a burn in my stomach. It feels like a burn. It feels like an irritation. It's not to the point where, there's a reason why I'm saying this, I promise. It's not to the point where you get acid reflux, but you could just feel like a burning sensation. That's what I'm getting as I'm looking at Chiron sitting in the sign of Aries. So if there is a point in your life that something is irritating, if something is irritable, if there is a burning there, that's because literally Venus is here trying to kind of patch it up. Now, depending on what is going on in your personal chart and how your personal chart is always aligned, or how your chart is aligned, meaning like your natal chart, Venus moving through Aries will impact everyone differently. So if I were you, I would pull your natal chart and just take a peek. And basically what you want to see is what house it rules first and foremost. Kimberly says there was major healing this weekend. Wow. See, because it literally normally is a little bit more passive. When she's in Aries, she's uncomfortable, but it's that uncomfortable energy that says, I want to fix this. I want to make this right. So I don't know if you guys can relate to this. Give me a thumbs up or a heart if you can relate to this. If there's something that it is that you need to, it's vibing with you. If there's something that resonates with you, if there's something that this message hits home for you. So, because that's ultimately what I'm seeing. You would have actually started to see this starting late last week. Okay, Zadira said, I was irritated this weekend. I woke up screaming/crying today, felt better after a workout and a yoga. So things that are really, and that's the thing, put a note in that. Do you see how she went and actively felt called to go into action? She felt very active, like in order to heal that situation. She was irritated first. She was irritable at first. And the way that she went to fix it was through physical, I'm going to do something about this. If it's internal situation, Venus moving through the sign of Aries and also Mars moving through the sign of Sagittarius, it wants to be active. This is when, if you feel something personally, internally, on a personal level, you could go for a hike, you could go for a bike ride, you could go kayaking, something that physically kind of challenges your body, but also mentally makes you expand, makes you excited. It's like adventure. Okay, and that is going to be different for everyone. The next thing that this can happen is like literally Venus naturally kind of wants to show up and to approach and be like, hey, what's up? I am fearless right now. You're not going to do it, so I'm going to do it. These are some things that the universe or the astrology chart is technically challenging you to step into right now. It's 50% stepping into your power and 50% other people just simply won't do it. I want to also announce that life isn't fair. I feel like we know that at this point. Like, life simply is not fair. Sometimes it feels like the same things that, like, let's say something happens and you know that you are due an apology, like someone should come in and fix it, or someone should apologize for what it is that they've done. They almost know it. So that's the thing about Aries sometimes too. Aries energy is that when it wants to do something, this is Aries as a whole, this is the energy of what it is that we're working with. But when Aries wants to do something, it will do it. But if it doesn't want to do it, it literally will not. It will find all the ways to not do whatever it is that it doesn't want to do. So some of you guys might actually feel that irritation and be the one that's called to kind of do it yourself. Okay. Hold on. I just saw over here says I am .beauty_ says I've been super emotional. That is 100% attributed if I just by me being an astrologer and knowing what's going on in the planets, knowing going on in the charts with the full moon. So the full moon brings everything up to the highlight. It brings everything up to the surface. If you look at the statistics of the full moon, there are more accidents, more crazy things going on in hospitals than ever before during the full moon, around the clock. In fact, I was raised kind of in a hospital environment. My mom was a single parent and she was a nurse, right? And after school, I would go and meet her at the hospital. And I remember the nurses always being like, yo, it's crazy in here. It must be a full moon. And 9 times out of 10, they were right. The full moon has this way of totally peeling back our layers and totally peeling back our shells, like our peels, so that it's like that normal facade, that normal, okay, everything is poised and put together. We can't hide under that mask anymore. The full moon exposes everything. It reveals it all. So that includes your emotions. That includes bits of information that it is that you need to deal with. Kayla says, I've been crying for days. That is not abnormal for the full moon, because the full moon literally covers days. We're still under the influence of it now, so it could be 2 days before and anywhere between 3 to 4 days after the full moon. We can really, really feel that heightened emotional sensitivity, vulnerability, craziness. What the fuck is going on? That type of stuff. Starbell says exposed. Exactly. Arlisha says, I cried today. I say, I'm not surprised. Okay. Teresa Sousa says, you're right. Hospital life when full moon equals craziness. See? If you do feel a heaviness on your heart, as Armani Flores is saying, it is a direct, if I had to look at it, you know, because I'm not looking at your personal chart, I'm just looking at the chart in general right now, I would observe where Venus is moving through in your chart. So definitely look into the sign of Aries. This is not always a bad thing for everyone. Again, this could just really be calling you to make some moves, to move differently, to move better, and to be assertive for yourself. Meaning, like, be your biggest advocate. Go out there and pursue the things that have been catching your eye. Go out there and make things fun. Go out there and have fun. Go out there and take that risk. There's something that's really been attracting you. What is that thing? There's that person that has been on your brain. There's a relationship or a thing that you want to do. A lot of you guys are out there doing archery. I cannot tell you how many people over the past weekend went and did archery this past weekend, or have plans to do archery, or have recently done archery in the last like 2 weeks. And this is because Mars is moving to sign Sagittarius. So this is all about getting like involved in kind of horseback riding. That's another thing too, which is so funny. I actually was, oh, look at my tarot deck, you guys. Isn't this deck so beautiful? It has inspired me to infinity and beyond. Instagram over here. Go ahead and take a look at that. This is Tarot Sex Magic, I believe. This deck is so spicy. So spicy. Smiley face says, my brother just done archery. LMAO. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about, oh, wait. Let me go ahead and finish this one up in a nutshell. But it's pretty much about like going out, kind of like what it is that I've been doing, going out in the sunshine, going out, having fun, going out and embracing newness, new life, new energy. Zeandria says, ding dong time. Yo, was that you that left that comment on my Instagram? I nearly fell out. That was the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. Literally. So funny. All right. Yeah, so that's something that I really want you guys to put a pin into this week, is that if you do find irritation or irritability or restlessness, I really want you guys to focus on kind of physically getting that out. This requires you having to do it. I feel like, and don't shoot the messenger, I'm just telling you the truth. I feel like in this astrology and spirituality world, when we talk a lot about healing, and we say it so much, but like, what does healing even mean? And it almost comes into a point where they're repeating the same thing. We're healing, we're healing, we're healing, we're releasing, we're letting go. But I don't want you guys to equate healing and getting better or recovery or feeling better to you sitting back and waiting for things to come to you. At some point, there comes a time and a place when you have to do the do. That means that you have to make moves. That means you have to be active. You have to do something about it. This is that week where I actually see us being called to do something about it. If you don't feel good, if something is irritating you, it's not always meditating and pushing it down or suppressing it or finding peace in it. That is great. That is wonderful. But also it's about active. So the little gypsy says, she's not wrong, y'all. And you're right. Thank you for noticing it. Like, sometimes it's really your healing or you feeling better is not always going to be 100% you journaling and meditating and, disconnecting from the world. At some point, there's got to be balance. Even with me journaling, I'm ruled by Mercury. So I work with words. I work with writing things down. I love to communicate. But there has to be a balance with everything. Journaling is a really strong tool that works for me. But there also another thing is you got to switch it up. You got to get active. You got to get out there. You got to fall in love with life again. You got to take a risk. You got to, just do, I don't know, get physically motivated, get the blood flowing, get the juices going. Whatever that means for you is exactly what it is that you got to do. Some of you guys are moving. Some of you guys are moving locations. And that takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of exerting a lot of energy. That's all well and good. The universe is supporting you 6,000% when it comes to that. If you need to spark, that passion. Oh, wait, just as I said that, BB and Amor says, I'm moving to London, UK. So I love that. That's totally very Sagittarius energy, just hopping. Wait, Isha Razi says, I just moved that month. That makes sense as well. You could see that as well. And then also getting some fire in your place, getting some fire energy in your place. Drinking cinnamon teas really work. Green tea really works, even though it's technically not fire, but it helps to heat things up. It helps to get you guys very active. Yeah, listen to your body. Nay Nick says, can you feel our energy? Not so much to the point where it's overwhelming. I definitely put a lot of energy into protecting myself, so it's not like I'm vulnerable or anything like that. But yeah, I can feel your energy, and I can feel when it starts, my Instagram or my social media starts buzzing and whatnot. But yeah, so if you do feel irritable today, go to the gym, swim it out, power walk, go for a bike ride, whatever it is that helps you to get those juices flowing is definitely going to, has my stamp of approval. All right. This is also a week, you guys, where you want to slow it down. After I just said, pick it up, right? So let me go ahead and explain this really quickly, right? So the reason is Mercury. I'm telling you guys to slow things down. So wait, turmeric and ginger, yes. That with hot honey, that's a very good, very awesome recipe when it comes to working with this type of energy for this week. I'm just saying. So that's really good that you even said that. That's wonderful. Are we really top chat? How did I miss that? That's wonderful. Are we trending right now? Again? Okay, but moving forward, Mercury. Mercury is going to go retrograde on Monday. That's the 17th. Before you start complaining about Mercury retrograde, because you will get blocked, I'm all about us talking about our feelings openly and honestly, but I want you guys to first consider the blessings that can come from Mercury retrograde instead of you hyper-focusing on the annoyances. That's why I will block the Mercury hate train, because if this train is pulling up and I look out the window and I see I hate Mercury retrograde signs, I'm pulling off without you. We are leaving you and we're going to the next stop, okay? And I will talk about Mercury retrograde and why it's a blessing and how to work with this, okay? There are worse transits. There are far worse transits, some that we are undergoing, that we're under the influence of right now. So I don't want to hear us talking about Mercury retrograde in a bad way. If you're concerned, if you're curious about the benefits of Mercury retrograde, how's it a positive thing? I mean, the list is endless, but I also made two videos about Mercury retrograde being a good thing, but we'll also talk about it here. But let me go back before we can go forward, which is very Mercury retrograde. So right now, Mercury is in the space where he is slowing down. She. Mercury doesn't really have a gender. So Mercury, is starting to slow down. And basically what this is an invitation from the planets, from the astrology charts, from the universe being like, listen, if I'm slowing down, if I'm being called to take my time, then bitch, don't you think you should too as well? Don't you think? No, but for real, like Mercury is starting to slow down. And basically what this does is it's that in-between time before it goes retrograde. And essentially what this means is stop thinking about the future. Stop thinking about planning for the future. Before we even move into the future, there are some things that we want to rectify. We want to make this right. The reason why people get wonky and functified, which is what I'm going to call it, the reason why people get wonky and functified is because human beings, or I guess in our society, we start to think about things very linear. That means that we only think about progressing forward, because progressing forward is the best thing. It's a positive thing. And negative or moving backwards is a bad thing. It's a negative thing. In the spiritual realms, there is no such thing as good or bad. It's all about intention. It just is what it is. And again, if you know how to work with these energies, you can make them work for you and not against you, boo-boo. Right? I keep saying I'm going to tattoo it on my chest, or I'm going to put these tattoo tears for each time I've said it. Okay, because we're snatching lives. So every time I'm gonna put these tears, I'm gonna start tattooing on my face. When you know how to work with these planets, you can make them work for you, not against you. So moving forward, or like actually progressing forward, and things being your life being good and abundant and plentiful and vibrant, is not always you moving forward in one direction and never stopping and never looking back. That actually sounds awful. Could you imagine, you guys, could you imagine being on a road trip and never taking a break to eat? Do you know how nasty that car would get real quick? That would mean that you would, if left to your own devices, you would have to probably have a jar that you would pee and or poop in and continue moving forward, because in your mind, it is so poisonous. It is so toxic for you to stop, for you to take a break, for you to stretch your legs, for you to go for a bathroom break, for you to maybe, explore the surrounding area. Literally, that's what y'all sound like when you are just like, I don't like to start, demonizing Mercury retrograde. This energy, Cynthia says, I get bored after 2 hours. Girl. Mercury retrograde is an invitation from the universe, from the planets, to be like, wait a minute, let's get out, let's stretch our legs, let's pause before we move forward. Now, could you imagine driving in a car that has pieces that are broken down? Because that's what happens. Everything, human beings, living things, cars, robots, everything needs maintenance. Nothing lasts forever. At some point, those same tires that were strong in the very beginning, that tire tread will start to smooth out. It'll start to wear out. The first snowstorm that comes through, guess who's going to be sliding down the streets? You. So Mercury retrograde is that opportunity to stop, to realign your car wheels, to switch the gears, to replace your tires, to get an oil change, to fix the seat belts. I don't know. There's so many things that can happen. And Mercury retrograde is the universe saying, listen, it's not always about forward momentum all the time. In fact, you taking a step back is not you slowing down your progress. If anything, it's making you more efficient. If anything, it's making your journey more productive. It's making this more progressive, right? So we have to get rid of this mindset of we're only moving forward. We're only moving forward. We cannot look back. If we're talking about your personal life, if we're talking about what's going on in your life, this could be relationships, you guys. That's the thing. Mercury retrograde is notorious for bringing back people of the past. In my own personal life, years ago, I had a best friend who was like a sister to me. When I tell you, you guys, we look like twins. People would actually show up to me, look me dead in my eyes and be like, oh my God, and start talking to me as if I was her. And then they would show up to her and start talking to her as if she was me. And that's because we look so much alike. But at some point along our journey, we had a breakdown, probably under the influence of Pluto or Saturn, because it breaks down relationships like that, right? But we had a breakdown in our relationship. If it wasn't for Mercury retrograde, if it wasn't for the opportunity to go back, to rewind, to visit, that would be a connection that would be lost forever. And wait, can we go ahead? Hold on. Okay, Wicked Clown needs to get totally, thank you. Hold on a second. I'll take care of it myself. Thank you. Thank you, Mel. Yeah, so if I did not have that opportunity to take that step back and to reconnect, then honestly, moving forward now at this point in our life, life would be dull without her. I will say that. And it's so nice to have her back in my life now. It's so nice to have that friendship back in my life. So that's the thing, is that another thing is that we're having a hard time with in our world, in our spiritual world, in the spiritual community, is that there's this energy of release, 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 let it go, cut that cord, cut that tie. It's toxic, it's toxic, it's toxic. And that is true, and everything serves its purpose, but with balance and moderation, right? Some things have the chance to evolve. Some things have the chance to grow, to shift, to be made right and well and good. And at that point, if it feels good, if it feels right, it is okay for you to connect. It is okay for you guys to come together. It is okay for you guys to mend. It is okay for you to rebuild that bridge. They're saying, look at what you want. What is that you want for yourself? And then decide, is this something that I want to revisit? Is this a conversation that I want to have? Is this something that I will welcome into my life again? That's something Mercury retrograde will bring. That's the blessing of Mercury retrograde, what Mercury retrograde will bring. And it's up to you to decide if this is, a good and a bad thing. And do you want to bring them with you moving forward into the future? Okay. So I am seeing some comments on the YouTube realm saying that the Instagram or YouTube is buffering. I'm not sure why. Wow. YouTube just said your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. Well, if that isn't Mercury retrograde telling me to slow my roll, then I don't know what is. Yes, that's literally perfect. Okay, so I'm seeing some comments saying, Andrea says, we're overloading the system. You're right, we are. We have 862 people here. Mercury is doing the best that it can in order to catch up with me. And that's just kind of how it is. We're going to keep moving forward. It is what it is, right? Okay. So yeah, when Mercury goes retrograde again, you guys, you can be at a point in your life. I don't want to be the first person to say this, but I want to be at least a voice that is telling you now that during because that's the thing, you guys, Mercury retrograde will come through and everyone, like Instagram, whatever, the shade of it all, they will literally be like, oh, your ex is going to come through. Your ex is going to text you, block him, block her. That's some bullshit. They're still toxic. That energy sounds so toxic right there. Listen to me, hear me out before you are like, you write me off. Not like when I tell you guys, people change. Not that I'm saying go ahead and invite your ex back into your life if it's not right. But if it's a relationship, a partnership that at one point was good and right, or you're still thinking about them, or they're still thinking about you, Mercury retrograde, when it happens on the 17th, it brings in the opportunity to forgive, to have compassion, to consider maybe. And that's the other thing too, you guys, not everything is a loss, right? Now, hold on. Teresa Sousa says, my ex could stay there. And that's fine. If your ex or your relationship or that connection is a part of the past and you are not in a position to consider it, then Mercury retrograde only cements what it is that you know for yourself. That you are the executive director of your life. You call the shots of your life. If it doesn't feel right for you, then it is not right for you and you can move on. But Mercury retrograde is another one of those things that cements that and says, you know what, when this comes through, will I reconsider it? The answer is yes. The answer is no. But either way, the power is in my hands. And you call the shots of it. Mercury, I'm just letting you guys know that you're going to see a lot of posts saying, okay, your ex, block that bullshit. And maybe potentially that's true. But I don't know about you guys, but I date from a higher vibration. There's only one person I could think of off the top of my head that I would literally I don't want to say that they're dead to me. But if they were to ever to come through, I would give them forgiveness. I would give them compassion. I wouldn't come through with a tiger claw and swipe the life out of them, but I just wouldn't bang with them like that. Like I would just accept their apology and I would move forward. And that person is a Libra. You know how Libras can be, you guys. You know how Libras can be. But everyone else is good. I tend to date from a higher vibration, so I don't have this tendency to kind of like come through with a sword and just kind of kill people out, right? No shade to Libras. I'm just letting y'all know. Oh, but yeah, that's something else that I want you guys to consider, right? So outside of relationships, People do change, but outside of relationships, when it comes to ideas, when it comes to projects, it's good to not always think about the next big thing. Sometimes it's good to tweak and to revisit old brilliant ideas, old things that you may have no longer considered. Also, when it comes to like work and career and business, Mercury retrograde is a time for a lot of people to go on vacation. I don't know about you, but that sounds absolutely amazing. Going on vacation, taking a trip, slowing down. Mercury retrograde is about slowing your mind down. It's not always about racing and jumping forward or taking these leaps forward. Sometimes it's good to lay back. Channel your inner Cancun. Am I saying that right? Channel your inner, I'm booking a trip to Bali. Channel your inner, I'm going to the Philippines. Well, maybe not right now because there's a lot going on when it comes to plane travel, and so scratch that. But go on a trip, go on a vacation, go on a cruise, whatever it is that works for you. Kimberly Barbosa says, I'm on a trip right now. Well, that's perfect. The little gypsy says, I'm going to NOLA, and that is perfect as well. That is good and that is right. Yeah, the gem show, that's a lot. Like there's a lot that you can do. There's a lot of things that you can do in order to slow your mind down. Mercury retrograde is an opportunity for you to get that yoga trip, that yoga membership, to book that spa appointment. I don't know about you, but like what in all of that sounds bad? I'll wait. That sounds amazing. Book that retreat. Book that spa day. Book that appointment. This is Mercury retrograde is the opportunity, the permission from the universe, the planets to be like, girl, you deserve it. Boy, you've been doing the most. Your boss is the worst. They are the worst. Disconnect, slow down, revisit, fix the game plan. It ain't working. This is not right. Reevaluate, shift, switch gears. That tire has been flopping around on the back of your car for a minute. When are you going to change that? That's the thing. A small adjustment could make a huge change, you guys. Think about all of the things that you have not done that you need to do that are stopping you from doing all of what you can do because you're not addressing it. Hold on, let me say that again. Think about all the small things that you need to do that you have not done that are stopping you from doing all of what you can do because you're not doing it. Oh, that resonates. That has to resonate for someone. Definitely take care of those small things that are hindering you, that are stopping your growth, the growth of your business, the growth of your relationships, the growth of your prosperity. Why haven't you created that savings account? Why aren't you saving? Why aren't you working on that budget? You keep spending that money recklessly as if it just comes out of your butt and you're wondering, why haven't I gone on that trip? Because you keep buying shoes. Didn't nobody tell you that you need all them shoes? Buy that, book that trip. Go ahead. Mercury retrograde says, let me revamp my game plan. Let me revisit my budget. If I stop spending my money on all this bullshit crap, then I can actually go on that trip. I'm looking at everyone on Instagram. I'm looking at everyone on my Facebook timeline, and I see them doing these things. I see them going on these trips. I'm seeing them living their lives to the fullest, and I can't stop. Why? What am I doing? What am I not doing right? Mercury retrograde says, let's talk about it. Let's fix it. Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. Like for real, fix it. Find the problem, and in that problem, you'll find the solution. Mercury retrograde will give you the solution. It is 3 fucking weeks for you to get your life right. It is 3 weeks for you to take that trip. It is 3 weeks for you to have that conversation. It is 3 weeks for you to mend that fence. It is 3 weeks for you to reconnect. It's 3 weeks for you to get off of social media because you need a social media detox. Literally, Astro Chat Live is done. You're welcome. You're welcome. that's the thing. Maybe you guys need to treat yourself to some nice tea, to some nice movement. Like go get some yoga, get some energy work, some energy healing. Tell your kids to stop calling you. Put your phone on do not disturb. Let them do it for themselves. 3 weeks. You have 3 weeks to do me time. Me time. All right. What else are we missing here? That's the 17th. That's the 17th. That's next Monday. So in the in-between time, before we get to that time, what I want you guys to do is embrace Tarot Queen. Thank you for the super chat. She says, I feel attacked. I love you, Jess. I love you more. I love you more. I have so much planned for myself for Mercury retrograde, and it has nothing to do with you guys. Oh, I have so much planned for Mercury retrograde, and it has literally nothing to do with y'all. I love you. I do. But it's literally going to be like just me time, things that I want to do for me. If you see me out there on a jet ski, no, but for real though. Okay. Yeah. So before we even get into that time and that space, you guys, it really, like, everything is slowing down. So if your phone starts crumbling and getting wonky and weird, fine, so be it. That's the price you pay for the luxury of having all of your time focused on you. If I could trade my phone breaking down or my car, getting stuck on the side of the highway so that I could see that there was a problem, then I will literally take that so that I can fix it, so I can make it right, so I can take that time for myself versus me running myself into the ground. I don't know if you guys can relate. Give me a thumbs up or a heart up if you can relate. The other thing is fate. Can we talk about that? Let's talk about fate. Let's talk about karma. Let's talk about destiny. Mercury retrograde has a beautiful ability to bring things into your life that are not only from this life, but from the lives before. That is such a blessing. I don't know if you guys believe in past lives. I don't want to say I'm on the fence with it, but I've seen past visions of things that felt were like from past lives, but I'm a person who's about facts only. So as much as I'm into the spirituality realms, as much as I'm into esoteric and, looking into, like, working with, like, just the unknown factor, the 12th house, the 8th house types energy, I still have a side of me that's like, prove it. But when we're working with past lives and past life energy or past life memories or connections that are really deep, that have depth to them, Mercury retrograde is one of those things that can bring it right up to your doorstep. This is when you want to work with, let's say if you do have interest in this, like past life regression, going through those, getting a treatment to allow people to guide you through so that you can remember those past lives, so that you can heal from them, or remember so that you can see like a common pattern and then kind of switch it up and change it. So those are some things that can come through for the 3 weeks during Mercury retrograde, okay? This week, though, it's all about slowing it down and being open to that slowation process. That's what it is I'm going to call it. It's not always about running and moving forward. Sometimes it's about slowing down and being still. And we don't want to call it, the word that just came through is stagnant. You're not being stagnant by being quiet, by chilling. Sometimes, I don't know if you guys have known this, but it's all about jumping. Like in our society, it's all about being like super productive, jumping and progressing forward. And sometimes because we think about forward, we can only think about forward movement. That means that we can't stop or that we can't retrace our steps. But taking that step back and taking that time to revisit is actually a good thing. Giselle says, I want to know your Instagram name because I don't know it and nobody seems to know it here. First of all, Gisela, thank you so much for your super chat. But girl, it's Bahati life. Like it's all over. What do you mean nobody else seems to know it? What do you mean? I love that. Thank you so much for your super chat. But literally, it's Bahati life. Like it's my YouTube channel is Bahati life. I say, hey, it's Jess from Bahati life. But I feel like you know it now. So it's B as in boy. Bye, Instagram. You guys are about to get knocked off in a minute. I just got a notification. H as in hello. A as in all right. Wait, where am I? How do you spell Bahati? Okay, wait. BEHA. Okay. T as in tiger. Oh. I as in intelligent. L as in life. And then IFE as in life. So body life. I hope that answers your question, my love. But yeah, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I appreciate that and your honesty. Okay, hold on. Let me end this over here. Bye, Instagram. I love you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Blah, 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 blah. Oh my God. Messy. I'm messy. Okay. But yeah, and the reason why is when we have placements like this with, I don't know if you guys can see this. Nope, you can't. Just trust me. Pluto and Saturn and the vertex point all in Capricorn. These are things that have been set in concrete. This is the foundation, the bones of who you are, your spirit's journey, your soul's journey to get to this moment in time. And when Mercury goes retrograde, you guys, it's not just these one tiny transits. You guys know, as an astrologer, I've dedicated my entire life to this. I've dedicated my entire life to the study of astrology and also me developing my gifts. Accidentally, this wasn't on purpose, but it was all a part. Isn't it so funny? Like, it's never really on purpose, but there's a purpose to it all. But yeah. So it's not just me looking at this one transit. I have to look at the entire chart. I have to look at what makes all of it, all of the energy of what is that we're working with. And when we have a combination of Venus conjunct Chiron, Mercury trying to go retrograde in Pisces, woo, that's a good one. Pluto and Saturn conjunction, Pluto-Saturn conjunction on the vertex point, Pluto-Saturn conjunction on the vertex point in Capricorn. When we put all those pieces of the puzzle together, we have an opportunity to, like Portia Budd is saying, destiny, to work with your destiny, to work with karma, to work with past lives, and to figure out, okay, what is it that I've been standing on this entire time? What is the foundation of my existence? Who am I? Who am I? What is my purpose here? And what lessons can I learn from my past experiences, from my past memories, from my past lives, if you believe it? All those things start to come to surface now. The only reason why I'm saying if you believe it is because I haven't conclusively come to a decision for myself personally as far as where past life memories come from. That's something that it is I'm waiting for Spirit to speak to me and tell me, to confirm. It does. The best way to describe it, I feel, is by saying that it is a past life. But I feel like the English vocabulary, when I work with the spiritual realms, if there's one thing that has always stood out to me, there's not enough words to describe, or we don't have the right words to articulate certain experiences yet. So all we have to work with is what we have to work with, and what we have to work with ain't enough. I'll say that. So that's something that it's like, past life is very similar to what I can so far confirm it to be, but I cannot say affirmatively, like without a fraction of a doubt. I would be lying to you guys if I said that I 1000% believe in past lives, because to me, it could potentially be something else that we don't have a word for yet, but I've only experienced it in the spiritual realms. It's tough. It's tough. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. This week, I will say, let me go ahead and close off by saying this, that this week can be emotionally intense for some people. Don't take anything personally, okay? Don't take anything personally. Don't take anything to heart. It just is what it is. Allow yourself to receive it. Allow yourself to bring it in. Allow yourself to not internalize it, but to accept it. Accept something for what it is as status quo. And move forward. Hold on. Okay, Gisela says, how can I know if it's Spirit talking to me and not my own desires? Well, over time, you start to perfect it. Thank you guys so much for your super chat. I appreciate them coming through. This is a great time to ask questions because I'm about to end it in a few minutes. The next 5 minutes is I'll start asking or answering super chats. Gisela says, how can I know if it's spirit talking to me and not my own desires? Again, it's about perfecting it and experience, and you'll start to disconnect between the two. When spirit is talking to you, it tends to come from a high vibration. When it's sometimes our desires, it comes from, like, I don't want to say lust, but it can come from a spot where it's like, why do I really want this? It's about knowing yourself and knowing, like, the inner truth of, like, why is it that I'm seeking this? And spirit will help to guide you, but that's something that you perfect over time, that it works itself out for you over time. Okay, wait. Astrology channel says, sending you all high vibrations. Thank you so much, my love. You always come through. My love and peace. Astrology is proud of you. Honestly, that is an honor. Damn it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, because I know that you have an astrology channel, which I've been saying that I want to check it out. I appreciate you so much. And this is not the first time that you stood out to me. Actually, almost every super chat or every live chat, you stand out to me. So I appreciate that. Alyssa says, sending everyone in the tribe love and light, hearts, sunflowers, stars, rainbows, and peace signs. And I love that. Thank you so much. Okay, you guys, that's pretty much it. As far as what I can talk about now. If I was to go on, we would be talking all night long, all night long. It's those high notes. It's those high notes that fuck me up. Okay, Wanda says, Snowden, thank you so much for your astrology, for your super chat. She says, Jess, do you teach astrology in your tarot class? We touch on it, but we don't dive into it. Speaking of which, tarot school, we're going live tomorrow, and you guys know what we're talking about. It's one of my most favorite, exciting topics. 7 p.m. we're going live, Sacred Circle Tarot School. I'm so fucking pumped. I'm so pumped for that chat. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So if you guys are a part of the Sacred Circle Tarot School, I will be seeing you there. Yes, we will be going live. I don't know where, though. Should we pick a location? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, but on that note, you guys, I love you guys. Wait, is that Eric? Oh, okay. Erica says, this was awesome. Thank you. Thank you, boo. Thank you. We will also be going live next Monday at 7 p.m. I'm going to go ahead and put a timer up somewhere. That will be the day that Mercury actually goes retrograde. So I don't know if we'll be diving into it. Maybe we will, but maybe we won't. I feel like we talked about it a lot here. I love you guys. It's an honor. It always is an honor. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, 777. That is a sign. Make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. You have those notifications turned on because we go live every Monday. Thank you so much, Monica Padilla. Padilla. Yeah. For your super chat. Willie says, how do I book a reading when it seems unavailable on your website? There is a waiting list. Thank you. Eric just jumped on it. There's a waiting list at info@bahatilife.com. I had to think about my email there. All right, you guys, I'm out. I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Bye.